Hi, my name is Maddie, and I have got a skinny vanilla latte right here. It does not taste good. I don't like Starbucks' skinny vanilla syrup, but I'm living that life where I paid $6 for it, so I'm going to drink it anyway. And for those of you who might be new here, about 4 months ago, I became a mother. And I'm not going to bore my regular viewers with the stuff they already know, but basically, the synopsis of the last 2-ish years of my life was that I really wanted to become a mother. And so I lost weight, I changed my diet, I adapted to a Mediterranean diet, and I got pregnant and had a very healthy baby boy just 4 months ago. I can't believe it. It hasn't quite been 4 months, but I like feel the need to round up. Regardless, as a result, I am facing what many mothers face, which is the urge to kind of get back to my pre pregnancy body. Now, I would like to say that that is literally impossible. Your body will never ever be the same, even if it looks the same, even if it seems the same. Your uterus knew a baby in there once. Your body is different, I made milk for my baby. My boobs are never going to be the same, both physically and emotionally. I think I need therapy for my boobs. Regardless, I just wanted to get on here and have a kiki and have a chat with you guys about just some mentality that I've been struggling with. And basically, I did some research. I looked into some things as to why this may be, and I wanted to impart my wisdom onto you guys. So let's do that. Raise your hand if you have ever said to yourself, I'm going to start tomorrow, or Monday, or next month, or even next year. Literally, I will start any time that isn't right now. And maybe you go into that day, month, week, year with the best of intentions, and then something happens. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe you just autopilot and you do the same thing you've been doing for the past however long. Or maybe you just wake up that morning and you're not feeling it. I've been there. I'm being vague because this can pretty much apply to anything, this mentality that you get stuck in. It can apply to any good habit: going to sleep early, exercise, journaling, skincare, drinking water, expressing gratitude. Any healthy habit that might be your white whale. But I bet you thought I was talking about dieting, and you'd low key be right. Because I think a lot of us have procrastinated on starting a diet at one point or another. Unless you're one of those people that naturally just likes like quinoa bowls and like kale and like smoothies, in which case you can go to hell. I'm just kidding. Kind of. No, I'm just kidding. And there's always some excuse, right? I'll start the diet tomorrow. I can't start a diet today because it's Thursday, and that wouldn't be right. That's not right before the weekend. Or like that pancake breakfast I had this morning was too many calories. Like that, this whole day is just a wash. One of the things I can be really guilty of is like I will make balanced decisions all week. I will make really good decisions. And then the weekend comes and it's like, oh my God, it's a fun time. I don't feel like cooking. I'm free and I ain't ever going back to work. Okay, that's ridiculous. But it is that weird mentality that I get in where it's a fun time. I don't want to eat healthy food during a fun time. And it's like a tale as old as time because we promise ourselves we'll do better. And eventually we do. But often we just don't. We just keep kicking the can further and further down the road. And if this sounds like you, I just want to tell you, please do not beat yourself up. Because there's actually science behind why we are the way that we are.
Why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
It's this concept that's called the future self continuity, which sounds weird. But it's been studied by this guy named Hal Hershfield. So back in 2008, our boy Hal led this study at Stanford, because it's always Stanford, where he scanned participants' brains while they thought about themselves in the present, themselves in the future, and then other people entirely. And what he ended up finding was that whenever we think about ourselves in the future and other people entirely, our brains react the exact same way. Our brains process it the same way, the same parts of our brains light up. And that led him to believe that you don't actually perceive your future self as you perceive your future self as a different person entirely. And just think about that for a second. That makes complete sense. We always have the biggest and best ideals toward our future self. Our future self is someone who has more self discipline than our current self. Even if this future self is only a day or a week more mature, I'm going to use that in quotes because I guess technically mature, technically older than our present self. And because we perceive our future selves as an entirely different person, we're not as interested in doing right by them. And this entire mentality can really lead us to focusing on short term rewards, those quick hits of dopamine, rather than the long, boring goals that actually benefit us in the long run. And because the future is, well, the future, it can be really easy to get stuck in a rut of doing the same thing day after day, and those days just kind of slip away, they slip behind, you don't even think about it, you don't even realize it. But your present is your future, you're affecting your future. I've talked about the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and if you have not read it, please do so. I actually have some really good notes on it, so if you guys are interested, I can make like a video about it. I could. It might help me actually. I've read it twice, but yeah. But I don't want this video to turn into a video about me gushing about Atomic Habits, but it does kind of go hand in hand with some of the concepts of Atomic Habits. Specifically, Atomic Habits touches on like why habits start. One of the examples in the book is about like someone who goes to work and every day on their way to work, they get a donut. Every single day without fail. They're just heading off to work and without thinking sometimes they stop at a donut place, get a delicious tasty donut, and it gets borderline Pavlovian at a certain point. Like literally you get in the car, you start the car, and you can taste the donut. Your brain starts to associate driving to work with getting that sweet, delicious glazed donut. I don't want a donut now. And I've lived this exact scenario. During COVID, my local McDonald's was giving free coffee to healthcare workers, and I was a healthcare worker. And so every morning I would go to McDonald's and get my free coffee, and I'd also buy a biscuit because, McDonald's. And I kid you not, every morning I would wake up craving that coffee and that biscuit the way a chain smoker craves a cigarette after a meal. And like even when they stopped doing the special, I found myself autopiloting to the McDonald's drive-through and I had to make a conscious effort to get myself to stop. I remember in Atomic Habits, Clear actually suggests breaking your routine to shut off that autopilot. So an easy workaround would be to take a different route to work. Don't pass the donut shop or the McDonald's in my case. But what if it's not that easy? Like for me, I work from home. So a lot of my habits can be hard to shift because I'm in my house and it's hard to reset my environment here. Like, yeah, maybe don't buy a bag of Halloween candy when it's Halloween and think you're going to give it to the children, only for the children to not show up. And then what are you going to do with this whole bag of Halloween candy? Damn. Um, that didn't happen. And so, a lot of people who face these circumstances will try to artificially shift their environment. So let's say I wanted to motivate myself to drink more water. Something easy I could do is just buy a water bottle. Promise myself I'm going to keep it close. I'll use it. I'll use it. And I've made this small change to my environment. And in theory, I have a water bottle and I'm making drinking water more accessible to me. And this can be fun, right? You got this shiny new thing. You're getting that sweet, sweet dopamine hit in the present from making a purchase. And the act of this can sometimes be what does tip the scales in your favor. And the next thing you know, you are a water drinking queen. It does work sometimes. Because this is simulating that psychological reset that we get from Monday, the start of a month, the start of a year. And having a reset really is important into shifting your brain into starting a new and good habit. Unfortunately, the simple act of buying a water bottle or making an investment in your goal is not always enough. In fact, it often is not enough. Because without any semblance of a plan, a realistic plan at that, that's the important part, you just end up not drinking enough water, and now you're just dehydrated and you're out $45 because it turns out a Stanley water cup wasn't the answer to all of your problems. And this is a phenomenon that does have a name. It's called intention action gap. Basically, you want to start drinking water. That's your intent. But drinking water is more often than not, obviously, a long term goal. And it also seems intangible. Whereas buying the water bottle, that is the action you can take right now. That is a tangible thing. But the problem is, we often feel accomplished just from buying the water bottle and not from the goal and acting on the goal. And in our minds, we've already taken the action. Furthermore, it's like we think the water bottle alone will solve our dehydration problems, and we underestimate the daily effort that we have to expend in order for the habit to actually take hold and for us to start drinking water and, more importantly, continue drinking water. So I think it is important to make a plan and figure out how you're going to follow through. For me, I'm actually good about drinking my water because Henry is actually really helpful with me. He fills my water bottle up every night and he puts it on my work desk so it's good to go for the next day. And so it's always accessible, it's always within my line of sight. It's hard to not drink water while I'm working, which is obviously a huge chunk of my day. Something else you could do is something that Clear talks about in Atomic Habits, where he calls it habit tying, I believe. And it's where you tie one habit that you're trying to accomplish to a habit that you're already doing. So I track my calories in a calorie tracking app, and that app has the option for tracking water. So, in order to start tracking my water, I would track it whenever I am inputting my meals. And I would make the goal whenever I track my meals, I will also track my water intake because I'm already in the app, right? And it takes no extra time to track my water. And it'll also make me think about drinking water. You feel me?
And modern problems require modern solutions.
I do feel like drinking water is like one of the easier, healthier habits that you can do. I mean, I don't know, it's hard for some people, and I do understand that. And working out and eating consistently is a lot more difficult as well because it takes a long time to see progress. And you're doing it for that mythical future version of yourself, who, like we already said, your brain is perceiving as a different person. So, how do you bridge the gap between your future self and your present self so that you can start actually doing right by your future self? It's it's not easy. And it's something that I have not always been able to effectively do. In fact, researching this video has really like put some things in perspective for me. So thank you guys for that. Hirschfield's research suggests that you really should work on visualizing your future self. Picture who it is that you want to be. And I personally have found this to be really effective. There are some other exercises that you can do, like writing letters to yourself, but really you want your goals to be as vivid as possible for your present self so that you can link those two people. Well, I mean, it's all you, but you feel me? And meditation and visualization can really come in handy in this regard. Like, I can't tell you how many times I dreamt of seeing my positive pregnancy test, of telling Henry I was pregnant, of holding my baby. And that really helped motivate me and helped me to maintain my healthy habits. There's also some theories that visualization can actually help you achieve your goals, but I think this is the science behind that. And I also think that this is why taking before and after pictures, if that's something like you can mentally do, because not everybody is fit to do that. Some people, it really bothers them, and that's totally fine. But if you feel okay taking before and after pictures, that's something you can really do so that you can actually see the changes that take place. And there's a lot of other health things that you can do. Lab work, and yes, even the number on the scale can be somewhat accurate for measuring your progress. I do think it's important to get routine lab work and to kind of see how your numbers kind of coincide with one another. If you're like, hey, I'm a little lighter than I was last year and my lab work's a little better, maybe these things, are affecting each other, maybe not. That can really be helpful to have, some facts and figures that you can actually look at, and it's a little more tangible. I also feel like journaling can help. I used to be an avid bullet journalist, and I would track my mood and my sleep as well as my habits. And it was really interesting to see how one affected the other over the course of a month or the last few months. And you don't have to make fancy bullet journal spreads, but tracking things in an app or simply writing them down can really help. But if anybody has any more ideas, drop them down in the comments below. These are the things that have just worked for me in the past personally. I almost feel like this video is incomplete. Like, I should have more to say. I should have more suggestions. But, like, I've kind of said it already. This is something I or I've been struggling with the past few months. I had such a strong motivator in making a baby. And yes, I keep telling myself, well, you want to be healthy for that baby. But it's hard. It's difficult. I have started tracking my calories again, but not like strictly dieting, just to see what it is I'm eating. And I don't know, the accountability has been helping a little bit, but there are no changes because I'm not dieting. But that's okay. We will get to it. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Sometimes I feel really down on myself, and then sometimes I'm like, girl, you are like not even 4 months postpartum. There's also some personal things going on in my life, and I generally am pretty open with you guys, but unfortunately, I can't share everything. I hate to be vague. I know that's annoying, but there's just some personal things in my life that I'm having to exert a lot of effort over. So it's difficult. And so part of me wants to fall into that mentality of I'll start next year when those things should dissipate. I don't know. I don't want to start next year. I want to start now. Hey guys, Editing Maddie here. I meant to mention this at the end of this video and realized when I was editing it that I plumb forgot. But Grow with Joe will be coming next week. Look forward to it. Sorry for the delay. And also, I hate to just mention this randomly at the end of a video, but I always do want to be honest with you guys. I will be starting a GLP-1 once my Grow with Joe challenge is done. I didn't want that to like skew any of the results or anything. I don't know if you guys recall, but when I would do workout challenges in the past, I would always give that disclaimer that I was taking a GLP-1. I just think that that's a very fair and transparent thing to do. So I will not be for the Grow with Joe, but I will be after. I don't know. I just wanted to let you guys know. Okay, hope you guys are all doing well. Okay, I'm sorry for prattling on. I hope this video was interesting to you guys. Like I said, do the usual stuff for the growth of my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe because the YouTube wizards do in fact like that for the growth of my channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. I don't have my megaphone because Hank's asleep and I'm trying not to disturb him. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye.